All right, let's get right into this. We're looking at a story today that is just deeply unsettling because the final mysterious moments of a 32-year-old journalist named Amos Harun Minina were captured entirely on security cameras. And the big question here, the one that haunts his family and investigators, is this: was his drink spiked? The evidence seems to point to a horrifying yes, but as you're about to see, the full story is nowhere near that simple. So, think about what we have here. A victim, a clear cause of death, and the whole thing caught on camera. You'd think it would be an open and shut case, right? But the crazy thing is, this recording actually makes everything more confusing. It raises way more questions than it answers. To really get what went down, we need to rewind. It all kicks off on what seemed like just another Sunday afternoon at a pretty popular bar in Nairobi. So the guy we're talking about is Amos Minina. He's only 32 years old, a regular at this place, the Gaini Bar. The staff all knew him, said he was a good guy. He heads out from his house around 4 p.m. that day. He had no idea, of course, that he'd never be coming back. And here's the twist. This is the moment it goes from just a tragic, sudden death to a full-blown criminal investigation. The autopsy, it was crystal clear. Amos had ingested a poison, something so potent it killed him on the spot. Okay, now for the main event, really. The single most important piece of evidence, the security camera footage. Let's roll the tape and watch this whole tragedy play out, step by step through the camera's unblinking eye. So you're watching the tape, and for the first couple of hours, honestly, it's just normal. Amos gets there at 4:18, he's working the room, greeting people, joins a table, even goes to play some pool. There's literally no sign that anything is wrong. Yeah, and if you talk to the people who were there, they all say the same thing. Amos was just Amos. They described him as fit and bubbly. He's relaxed, he's having a good time, and that's what makes what's about to happen so incredibly jarring. All right, we're now getting into the final hour of Amos Minina's life. And this is where a bunch of small, almost missable moments start to add up to something terrible. Okay, pinpoint this time, 7:47 p.m. Amos orders another drink. And investigators are pretty sure this is the drink, the one with the poison. This is it, the beginning of the end. So watch this sequence of events closely. A waitress brings the drink over. She sits down with him, along with another woman. Then, just 9 minutes after that drink arrives, the waitress who served it gets up and walks away. It's a short interaction. Looks like nothing special, right? And this is just terrifying. You see how fast this stuff works? It's 8:01 p.m., only 5 minutes after that waitress left, and Amos just slumps over. And get this, he just sits there in a crowded bar for over an hour and nobody seems to notice. Then, at 9:22 p.m., his head lolls back. That's the moment investigators think he actually died. And what's even crazier is that eventually people do come over to check on him, but they think he's just passed out. They have no clue he's already gone. So the story moves from what we're seeing on this silent, chilling video to the absolute real-world heartbreak of his family finding him and what the medical science would later prove. I mean, just try to put yourself in this situation. It's almost 11 at night when his brother shows up. He finds Amos, can't wake him up, and starts desperately trying to do resuscitation, but it's way, way too late. And then just a few minutes after that, his wife, Regina, walks in, right into the middle of this absolute nightmare. And his wife, Regina, she said something that really just sums up this whole thing. I feel something is not right. It's not just grief you hear in that. It's suspicion. She knew her husband, and she knew this was just wrong. So what did this poison do to him? The official term is acute hemorrhagic gastricities. Now, that's a mouthful, but in simple terms, it means the poison caused massive, sudden bleeding inside his stomach and esophagus. It's a violent, unmistakable sign that he was poisoned. So now you've got two completely different stories clashing. On one hand, you have the science, the autopsy report, which is pretty undeniable. But on the other hand, you have the bar owner, and she's adamant that whatever killed him, it wasn't served at her bar. Yeah, the owner, a woman named Noki, she didn't mince words. She said, look, Amos was a customer, but the drink that killed him did not come from her bar. Which, opens up a huge question. If it didn't come from the bar, where did it come from? So we've walked through the timeline, we've looked at the evidence. Where are we? Well, we're stuck with a case that is tragically clear on what happened, but just
a complete mystery as to why.
Okay, let's just nail down the facts we know for sure. 1. Amos Mina died from poison at the Gaini Bar. 2. The CCTV caught his final hours, but crucially, it didn't catch the exact moment his drink was tampered with. 3. He died incredibly quickly and then sat there, unnoticed, for more than an hour. And 4. Homicide detectives are now on this, and they're investigating it as a murder.
And so, all of this leads us to the one massive, haunting question that investigators are now chasing down. The camera showed us how he died in chilling detail, but it couldn't show us the one thing we really need to know. Why? Who wanted Amos Mina dead?